again back in public session. First item on the agenda is the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have the non-public and public meeting minutes of July 6th.
Do you want a motion to seal the minutes?
Yes.
Motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session because it's determined that the divulgence of this information likely would adversely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than the member of this board.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstentions, that is 4-0. And the minutes of July 6th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of July 6th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Abstentions, that is 4-0. Consent agenda. Who's got the good ones tonight?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda from July 27, 2023. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 7/13/23. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 7/20/23. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 7/27/23. Payroll payment manifest dated 7/20/23. Distribution of funds from Special Events Donation Trust Fund in the amount of $1,155.86. Request for transfer of funds from the EMS fundraiser account to the town's general fund in the amount of $220. Request for transfer of funds from the EMS fundraiser account to the town's general fund in the amount of $682. Distribution of funds from the building maintenance fund in the amount of $169.99. Distribution of funds from the sewer capital reserve in the amount of $27,699.86. Request for transfer of funds from the ambulance revolving fund to the town's general fund in the amount of $23,720.94. Administrative abatement from map lot 220-015-063 in the amount of $95.70. Administrative abatement for map lot 220-015-079 in the amount of $124.95. Removal of credit exemption as it no longer qualifies, map lot 109-031, 2 veterans credits. Warrant for unlicensed dogs for 2023. Approval of elderly exemption for 2024 for map lot 223-014 in the amount of $30,000. Approval of veterans credit for 2024 for map lot 106-035 in the amount of $500. Approval of veterans credit for 2024 for map lot 113-011 in the amount of $500. Approval of veterans credit for 2024 in the amount of $500, and approval of service-connected veterans credit for 2024 in the amount of $1,700. Both credits are for map lot 116-048. Distribution of funds from the Recreation Patriotic Trust Fund in the amount of $1,770. Distribution of funds from the Special Events Donation Trust Fund in the amount of $3,100.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I just want to point something out to what I sent you in your package yesterday on 2 items were added, 19 and 20. They weren't in your package yesterday, but they are in your materials. And then on number 5. That was originally for $3,000, but we hadn't cut the remainder of the check, so I asked them to change that, and that is the correct amount. So.
Okay. I got a second from Rob. Any further comments or questions or anything anyone would like separately? Hearing none. All those in favor of the consent agenda as read, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstentions? That's 4-0. Jeff, you have an update for us.
Update on Baton Road, the pressure concern. We got our pressure gauge fixed, our flow gauge. So we went back up there and we ran some flow tests. We opened the hydrant nearby his home. Just a minute.
Mr. Maggio.
Maggio, sorry, thanks. We got 750 gallons a minute out of the hydrant.
Out of the hydrant?
Yeah.
Is that, where is that, normal?
That's pretty good, really. It's,
It's
50 pounds of pressure, at the hydrant. We opened the hydrant, we lost pressure at the next hydrant. We put we got a static reading off of that. When we, flow the hydrant, we get a residual. It was right around 22 pounds, I think, as a residual. So, my findings I passed on, I think
it's
you went,
frozen.
what,
It's
frozen?
frozen right now.
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. When you say the next hydrant, are you talking about towards the cul-de-sac or towards Christian Lane?
We flowed the one at the cul-de-sac, and we did the residual at the one, I think it's right around 151 Baton Road. maybe.
So that doesn't run, there's no connection between Willamette and Baton, is there?
There is, yeah.
Oh, there
It's a
is.
loop system now, we
Okay.
did that years ago to create that loop.
There, in your packets also, Jeff included a few different things. In the number 3, which one do you want me to try and bring up, Jeff?
Maybe the Excel sheet, you can see that.
This one?
I just revised it. What I did, we changed the operating level of the tank. We were going 18 to 24, now we operate 20 to 26. 27 it starts overflowing, so we're about at the max capacity of the tank. It'll provide a little bit more pressure, but he did not notice any better flow coming out here, so.
What's the size of that line there?
It's an 8-inch line going down Baton Road. I think it goes down to 6-inch down to Willamette Road, then back up to 8-inch on Willamette Road.
Oh, I didn't talk to Mr. Maggio before tonight, but I talked to him last week and let him know we were still working on it. I told him that we did increase the tank level, and he said he hasn't seen any relief. So, but that's why we're back here to talk to the board about what Jeff's found, so.
Okay.
So these are my findings. I updated that, and what I would expect to see for pressures and volume of flow. I did in my response get back to Christina, but I included our engineer,
It's
That,
there too.
and I think you might have a copy of that. But he indicated what the pressure loss on a 250-foot run, a 3/4-inch line would be. It's 23 pounds of pressure. He's losing right off the bat just by flowing that. And that was one of my recommendations when we first started talking about this, is increasing the line size to 1 inch, he'd see a little bit better flow. I did ask him if any plumber had done any testing as far as what they would recommend, and he said that they hadn't, but it's a pretty good sized home with a lot of fixtures in it. I think it would be worth them taking the time and getting a plumber in there. And,
What's the max feed size you allow?
1 inch is something we can tap. Usually we don't get into 2-inch unless we're feeding like a condominium association.
Sprinkler system.
But I would dare say if a 1 inch is adequate. I don't know what his plumbing.
Yeah.
But we've had this complaint from more than just him.
Right, yeah. There is a house behind his that's a little bit higher. They do have a 1 inch line, and my understanding is they're not able to run 2 showers at the same time.
So that was the other thing I was gonna ask, is how much elevation loss is there between his house and the line?
There's really not that much. His house is, I don't know, 2 or 3 stories high, so he does lose some.
But he's not up the hill
He's
from the
not like his neighbor in the back that does have the 1 inch line going up to theirs. And it's a 1 inch line, but it reduces down to 3/4 inch meter as soon as it enters into the house too, so.
Yeah.
So if the recommendation is to go from 3/4 of an inch to an inch, is that on them or is that on us?
It would be on them, because the home should have been sized properly for the amount of fixtures back in the day when we did so.
Old house?
What's that?
Is that an older house?
No, it's built, well, he's been working on building it for several years, so it's fairly new as a completed home, it's new.
Should say the tax card.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud that if we tell him that that line needs to be increased and it's on him, the response is probably gonna be, well, what about, what about the neighbors, and then are they all, does that all need to be increased, or does our,
I think really a plumber should be involved and actually size it. That way it's not just me saying.
yeah.
Do you have historical records of the pressure off of that hydrant in past years, or?
We do have some, and we have a hydraulic model. Was recommended for an elevation that we could service. I think it's on that spreadsheet, if you could bring that up again. I think that we have our recommended service elevation, and I think I have the elevation of his home.
The date on the tax card is 2006 for the home.
For the home, yeah. Which way, Jeff?
I was just looking at the elevation of his. So yeah, if you could slide to the left. His home is
He's
180.
180.
yeah,
Maserati.
I think it's around 669. Is that his? Yeah,
Meters,
that's-
yeah,
yeah,
669, yeah.
And I think lower down in there, 714 is our service elevation for the lake system anyway, so he's well below, the cutoff point, and that 714, I think, provides 30 pounds of pressure for a home. And there's homes at that level that haven't had a concern, issue with their pressures. But I really think a plumber should be involved and just go through and count the number of fixtures and.
Was that a neighborhood that was kind of started at the same time, or has it morphed that way over the years? Or I guess my point is, if there are several residences with this concern, were they all built at the same time by the same contractor, or?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, there weren't many houses down there 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Those are all the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah. The main water line was put in by one contractor, I think it was Teddy Rivers at the time. Probably back in the mid-80s, I think it was. And all the service lines feeding the homes,
Come off of that,
come off of
and
that.
that's an 8-inch?
8-inch,
Yeah,
called Blue Root, it's a PVC pipe.
yeah.
There's a couple from the 80s, one from the 90s, but the rest are all 2000s on. 2006, 2011, 19.
Okay.
And we did go out and exercise the valves, making sure everything was open and.
Yep. Okay, so at this point, the recommendation is to talk with the homeowner and get a plumber involved?
Yeah, they get a plumber's opinion on line
Yep.
size to see if it,
Yep,
we can provide them with all the information that we found.
yep,
And they can, I think, properly size the feet of the service line that should be
okay.
for that home. So. And if any of the other neighbors that have concerns want to reach out to us, we can go and do some flow testing. I think one of them's Mr. Skarbinsky's home. He did just do a bucket test similar to what he was doing to see if it would improve at all. So.
Okay,
There's a video Jeff also provided when he did the test. It's in your
Oh, yeah. the
packets as
hydrant.
well.
Hydrant.
yeah. Okay. So you're gonna reach out to them?
I can reach out, yeah, I can reach out to him. I did mention to him before, so I'll mention it to him again about getting a phone call.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else, Jeff, while he's here?
Are you in tomorrow?
In here?
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully not.
How'd your week go last week?
Last week?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago, sorry. When you were recovering? You had a good
He
week?
tried to fire himself.
Yeah, I was gonna fire myself, and
Yeah.
then I was gonna give myself a severance package. There's a bunch of things I wanted to do.
He's upstairs going, where's this paperwork?
Things went well. I think one thing I should mention though, the SRF, we just got notification today that we ranked third in the priority list for the Central Street project.
Wow.
And I think we applied for 180,000 and we got 100,000 principal forgiveness is what we potentially could get. So
Yeah.
it's kind of good news. That helps out a little bit more with the Central Street project.
I have no idea what his computer's acting up.
Yeah, that 750 gallons, that's a lot of water coming out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and Carol did send an email to everybody and let him know that when he tested his, but his elevation's higher, isn't it?
His is a little bit higher.
Oh, it's like town water?
He's 7, what did he say, 7?
And one of the neighbors that I talked to, he says, yeah, he sees a pressure loss, like he can't take a shower, wash the laundry, and expect to water his lawn at the same time, so, he works around.
I can't do that either, but I have done well.
Yeah. But, yeah,
Little jet.
well, your pressure is probably, even in Doug Well, you're probably up around 50 pounds of pressure.
Yeah, and max is, I think mine max at 48,
Yeah, so.
35 to 48 in that range.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll see ya.
Night, Jeff. Go enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How's the music?
good band.
Right there.
Oh, the Saturday, no, we'll save that. Never mind. Save it for the end.
Okay,
It doesn't want to let me share on the screen anymore, so
that's fine. 2024 meeting and holiday schedule.
yeah, we figured we'd get a jump a little early, partly because the budget season's also starting. And we don't want to wait until the last minute. So the first thing I've opened is the holiday schedule. We just matched the dates back for existing holidays already. These are the holidays that have been approved for the past so many years. So I don't know if you have any concerns about any of the dates. If you're okay with it, if you want to approve them, then we can move forward.
We talking just the holiday right now?
The holiday first, yeah, because I had talked to your meeting schedule, there's an issue, so. But,
I thought we had Juneteenth this year.
no, it is it is a federal holiday, but the select board chose not to add it. So we don't have it in Bristol, so, unless you want to change it, but. Yeah, there are 12 days there, so. Do you have any concerns with that schedule? Okay.
We need a motion to approve it.
I don't think so.
No.
You should- no.
Consent is fine.
Consent is fine. The select board meeting dates, we set them up, already. One of the problems is July 4th is the first Thursday. Our thoughts are that you might be able to cancel that meeting for that week because depending on where we go with fireworks and other 4th of July events, it's an extremely busy week already. So, and take that week off, but it would leave you a little open from June 20th to July 18th. It would be 4 weeks without a meeting, so.
Summer recess.
Right.
It's our holiday now.
I mean, we could leave it open that if something important came up, we could ask Sal to schedule a meeting, but.
I'm okay with that, that's fine. We're gonna have some hefty meetings after that.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
So for now, we'll take the July 4th off, we'll leave it off for now. And then as we get closer, we can always add whenever you need to. But that'll give you, I was gonna say, start the concepts earlier.
Yeah.
They did seem to start late this year in the
It
season.
did seem to start late, but it was because of the community day was the first kickoff.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so no other concerns on that schedule, it's still the 1st and 3rd? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Yeah, that could mess us all up if we change that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for holiday meeting schedule.
Well,
Yeah, you have to rotate that, sorry.
Fireworks.
So fireworks discussion is the next item. Moving right along.
Excuse me,
You're the chair.
next item on the agenda is the fireworks discussion for 2024.
The women in the room are feeding him.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. I'll sit myself back down. All right, so I reached out to our committee because it's very hard to get everybody together, and I've gotten responses from, let me just make sure nothing else came in, but I've got responses from 2 of them. What we did was general questions to the fireworks group. Was what went well, any stellar comments or items to share with the board, any kudos, any things you feel that you feel strongly about continuing if the town continues the fireworks event next year. This person thought Carol did a great job as always. The behind the scenes stuff went well as usual. I think PD Fire Highway has that down pretty well at this point. Didn't hear any complaints about no golf carts. And then this other person says they thought everything went well as well. One of the general consensuses I think has been among the committee, if we continue to move forward with fireworks, that we should build the event up down, a little bit more down there. The second question was what didn't go well and should be fixed, and that's we need to secure more food vendors and a better variety. I'm not going to go into a lot more about what was said, but this person thought that we should do more of that, and I agree. We tried, we just couldn't get anybody else there. We had ice
Hard on
cream.
that day.
What?
It's hard on that day.
Yeah.
yeah, we're not in the city and
Third question was the fireworks show. So the current provider, which is Hell's Gate, we thought wasn't going to continue anymore. He has called last week, or Monday, I think when Sean stopped by, and has offered to do the same show on the same day, on any day, but not on July 4th. You can't, for the same cost. So it couldn't be anything more than a Class C show off the barge. And he would do the same cost, which was the $6,000. Do we have any interest in recommending that the board continue with the Class C show? And out of the ones that responded, they said no. They said although the show was, we anticipated it was going to be lower, it was a fairly good show for some people. They feel we should be doing Class Bs. So I wanted to make sure what the board thought. And the last question was, does the committee have any recommendations for the board on a fireworks event at all? If you didn't like option number 3, which was the Class C, do you want to go out for RFP? And the general consensus will be whatever the board decides we'll do. but Class B was what they wanted to do, go out for RFP.
I think it's time to go for RFP.
I did start to call people before because we thought we were gonna have to find somebody, so we can certainly go out to RFP. We had a $10,000 budget, and right now we've spent $8,900 of it. So that difference, roughly $1,100 will stay in the capital reserve fund, which will go towards it. But I do remember when I was quoting it, we were getting costs for about, wasn't it 18,000?
I'm gonna say it was somewhere around 20,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we need to spend $18,000 to $20,000.
Yes.
And that's where I think we need to start reaching out to the community, doing, like a Friends of the Fourth kind of thing. Maybe not to absorb all the costs, but at least to lessen the impact of it. That way when you go to town meeting with it, you can say, hey, yeah, we're looking for, and I don't even know if we can do this, tell me if I'm wrong. Let's say we want to approve $20,000, but, this committee's already in progress now, and the idea is to offset those costs.
You can do that.
Up to 20,000.
Yeah.
Right. And the 2 that I just pulled out, this one says our minimum charge for anything from June 30th through the 4th itself is $15,000. And this was JPI Pyro. So they wouldn't do it off the barge by the sounds either.
And there's nowhere to do it.
Right,
That's the issue, right?
that's,
They
so
would not do it off the barge?
this one wouldn't, they could do it near the lake, but they didn't wanna do it off, they
So-
would do it off.
The Hell's Gate can do it from the barge, but it's gotta be Class
It's
C.
gotta be Class
Right,
C.
that was the issue, that they couldn't do the Class B off the barge, right?
They can do the Class B off the barge if they are electronically
Oh,
fired.
that, right.
Hell's Gate doesn't electronically
Right.
fire, Hell's Gate manually fires, and so he can only do Class C.
Tell them to start electrically firing.
Well, and then
There's
we
another
tried doing that
party.
the one year, and there was a ute along the way
Yeah.
because of the electronics.
Well,
No,
that
we-
wasn't him though,
no,
that was
we
somebody
did-
different.
No, right, it was something
Right.
different, but that was an issue. So
We-
it's,
We did switch to him because we were having trouble with the electronics.
Right.
We took over when the Lions Club stopped,
I remember that.
and those first few shows were.
It was rough.
It was, I remember waking up, it started at like 10, 11.
Yeah.
Finally, I think we gave up when and they found at midnight a whole other thing of them, and they just set them
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I was driving home.
Yeah.
So, after we listened to the people boo.
Well, it's not, we won't accept any proposals from that company.
So we'll start RFPs now. We still are trying to do a barge show if we can.
Yeah.
And we want Class B.
Yeah.
So is like that whole Friends of the Fourth, is that something that we could
so, yeah.
spearhead and encourage?
There was something 10 years ago.
I can talk to the person who did it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
I
that
don't know if
person,
they'll do it.
I thought someone already wrote in, who was it to you, or you dropped the name, I don't wanna say it, but,
BBD.
yeah.
He did a great job, and he did that pretty much on his own.
Yeah.
Was he the one that did it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was, if I remember, it was like $100. He was looking for $100 donations for
So it was.
fireworks club or
It
whatever.
was a win-win. He
Yeah.
went to the businesses and got a donation. It was, because Vertigo.
Yeah, then there was a prize.
Got a donation of, say, $100. And then when they sold the tickets, I don't think it cost the restaurant anything in the end, that the restaurant got their money back. I can't remember. how.
Essentially, I think.
well, I can
They sold
certainly,
like 100 tickets or whatever.
Yeah, and it worked. He raised it in short order.
But it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work, because he was checking in with those businesses. Rotary tried it, and we just didn't have the bandwidth to make it happen.
We can talk to Ashland too, because I think Ashland they charge their vendors to be there. We don't charge our vendors because we're trying to
We can't get it from our president.
But we
Well,
can talk
and
to Ashland about how they do it.
That's something that's on us as a town, that we need to go out and market this to draw people in. But the caveat to that is that you try to be able to handle the traffic control, parking and all that stuff too.
And the other thing is that more than half of the spectators are out on
The
the
water.
water.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
a lot of them are Bridgewater and Bristol,
And
Bridgewater,
Hebron.
Hebron.
I drove home and
And
I
they've
go by
never
that
once, all
cove.
the times we've sent
Yeah.
letters, they've never once offered to help.
It's kind of hard to restrict them from coming around.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
Yeah, but
Sorry, where are you from? Come back.
They used to, when the
Kidding,
children,
people.
they would, during the parade, they would have buckets,
Yeah.
and they would go down through and they'd
Yeah,
collect
remember that?
$500, $1,000 maybe over the course of that.
Yeah.
But it's a drop in the bucket.
Well, we can reach out to Ashland and a couple other places and see how they do it.
Yep.
We could write a letter to Triple H, no.
We
But
could tell them we'd be more appreciative than the town of Meredith was.
That's right.
we couldn't give you an island, but.
Or maybe, hey, heard you bought some real estate.
That's right.
is that true?
I don't know.
I
I haven't heard any more of it.
I haven't heard any more, but I did hear, but I heard it was Bridgewater.
Yes.
I'm out on the boat and I see that another one that goes by, it says 7 Rings or something.
Yeah.
So the other question before we do the RFPs is obviously the 4th of July is a Thursday. The parade is normally always on the 4th of July. What would we prefer the fireworks to be?
I would think Friday.
Friday the 5th or Saturday? the 6th.
If they have the 4th off, you know they're gonna have the 5th off. People-
I think
People
Saturday.
coming up.
I mean, Saturday,
And then rain day Sunday?
Yeah.
yeah, you could do,
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
work
fine.
on.
Either way, I don't have.
Now, as far as the SRP is concerned, that's strictly for pyrotechnics and not for the barge and all that.
sorry, repeat that.
We own the bar.
We own 3, one of them I've been advised is no good, and is gotta be taken care of. But it's not in our town. So I do believe we have to talk about where we're gonna put those barges going forward. But
Are they still on the beach?
one is on the dock.
Still on there. Somebody complained about it. It broke
It
loose.
broke loose, we had to call the fire department, and the fire department went and took care of it. We're very thankful for them, by the way. I was on vacation.
Oh, is that the one that ended
Is that
up
one
by
the
the river?
Those were supposed to be removed.
So there's one left and it's out of the way. It is out of the way, it's off of the fire dock. However, I sent a message, it had to be removed and the lines had to be fixed by the end of this week. That's another issue.
So here's what I don't understand, that bar, every year, those things are tied up there for weeks after the 4th of July. And why is there not a stipulation in the contract that they must be removed by a
Because it's
certain
not a
date?
We
contract.
don't have a contract.
It's not with the person
We meant-
doing that.
It's
We
not
rent
the fireworks
both.
person.
Oh, I know it's not the fireworks person.
But we don't have a contract with the other person, we just get billed for their time.
Cause I mean, those things are, I've seen kids on them, the sharp edges and everything on them, it's gotta be out of there.
We put no trespassing signs on them one year.
Why
because
not have it in the contract that they have to supply their own barges?
well, I think most of them do now.
I
I
would
think.
think they'd have them set up for their.
Preferably, that would be,
It would be, and
it would
then,
be preference given to, or preferably your own barges.
I mean, it would be great not to deal with the barges at all.
Does the town own them?
we do, we bought them a few years ago, the 3, from was it Copper Top?
Yeah.
Copper Top in Hebron. And they work for us.
And one of them is no good anymore, needs
One
to
is,
be
yeah.
thrown away, basically.
So when we do the show, we do have 3 barges, one's Greg's, and the other 2 are ours right
Okay.
now. The
And
third
we
one
need a place
needs
to
to,
store them.
yes. They've been being stored at Greg's, I believe. I can reach out to Greg and find out if that's still okay.
What about the storm center?
That's actually a much better
Oh,
spot. And we do own a boat trailer.
Not storm as in weather, but storm as in the last name, the piece off of Halls Road that.
Oh, yeah.
Danforth Brook.
Yeah.
So we actually have a boat trailer too that came with, when I left the fireworks group, I'm not sure where that stuff ended up.
Yeah.
So I know that we were given a boat and a boat with a boat trailer that was gonna be turned into a barge. Where that actually went from our fireworks provider, he gave it as a gift to the town because we signed the contract with him. And then we did purchase, before this fireworks provider, we purchased the barges from the Copper Top at the time, so. They're $500 for the
Yeah.
3.
And we do need a new board rep for the fireworks committee. Yay!
Thank you.
So,
'Cause I was studiously not looking at
No, I thought you were doing a good job of ignoring it.
so I will grab glass, it will be the.
Which
and-
is perfect, because you have
Yeah.
fire department experience and.
Yeah.
the fireworks.
we started very
Yeah, I
late.
said, well, if you like me, I-
So here's the thing I'm gonna throw out there too, which is not gonna make people on the fireworks. We need to meet more than April, May, June.
Oh, yeah.
We need to start earlier,
Yeah.
so,
You need to know it's funded too.
right.
Yeah.
So, but, granted, we could probably start in March meeting,
Yeah.
but I think we could always start soliciting, doing this friends, if that's what we're gonna do to solicit
Well,
earlier.
who's on the committee?
What?
Who's on the committee currently?
Me, Les, Ben, Jamie, and Victor and Chris, that's it.
We need some young blood that wants to.
Christoph?
No,
No,
Christine.
Christine.
So, we don't have any technically public on the
Right.
fireworks
Yeah.
committee.
That's what we need, is someone that.
Right.
is
Well, that's
appropriate.
what, like, if we get a couple of, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be somebody young, we're just, somebody that's tech savvy.
Somebody retired that is.
Yeah, somebody that's willing to blow it out on social media and gauge, you know,
I can
Gauge
solicit
interest.
because we've never really solicited.
We need a development person.
marketing.
I know.
We'll hire a marketing director.
That's right.
for the town.
Yeah, you could pay ours for firework fundraising.
So I'll solicit for fireworks committee members, to begin planning the next year.
You might reach out to the past one, that might be
Yeah.
a niche that they'd be willing to fill.
BBD.
Yeah. He calls me boss lady. So,
You need something to do.
Yeah.
he's almost finished his renovations. All right, I think that we beat fireworks.
No, well, one more thing. Do we still anticipate raising funds via warrant article, or if we're spending this every year, do we put it in the budget?
So that's a good question. I mean, I think my opinion has.
Because there was a stretch when it was in the budget.
Yes,
Right.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And then, right,
Yeah.
there was concerns.
Yeah.
Some
And you
concerned
would-
citizens,
Put it as a
and they
warrant
wanted
article.
to have it a warrant article.
I
to
can tell you
let
right
them-
now, the current budget committee, that they are going to recommend it go to a warrant article if you put it in the budget.
Are you
This-
on?
No, not anymore. I was last year. No, I'm just saying I worked with them last year. That's kind of the,
Right.
there's nothing against
Oh,
anyone
no.
or anything. It's
No,
just
it
a
makes
vibe
sense.
by
Yeah, okay, I just,
It was, I think
I mean-
because people were adverse to us blowing,
Right.
$12,000 up into the air for a one time. And then you had people that were against the fireworks in general for environmental reasons. So we said, let the people decide.
yeah.
And so you did that for how many years? Probably 4 or 5 at least.
Oh, easily.
All of that, yeah.
And,
Yeah, as long
and
as
it
I-
does pass every time.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe you wait one more year because this is going to cost more
Mhm.
Yeah.
potentially, and see where it goes with the bigger cost maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can cost more and you can guarantee it's gonna be better, but why are you laughing at me and smirking?
Because you're gonna be the one talking at town meeting.
You're running my mouth, just like.
Alright.
The other day.
I almost went there.
So for now, we're gonna do the warrant article.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
All right, the next item on the agenda. Oh, never mind, you can talk about the budget. You can bring that up. Budget discussion for 2024.
Let's see, I don't think it's gonna let me show the schedule stuff. Oh, maybe. The schedule is in your, so, what am I doing? So the schedule that's in there is the draft budget committee schedule, with the chair. It's under number 6, sorry, not TA. If you rotate it, you can see it a little better, but,
I don't think that's what
Just go click your cookies on the top little scrolly thing and it flips.
So 15,
Does that make
6
sense?
o'clock is the first
Click,
one.
click
So-
on the top scroll.
Oh, I won't be there.
they are starting. Did you get it to rotate?
No, it's not.
Shoot.
Pulls out of your tools.
Tentatively, they're starting earlier.
I have the rotate button.
Wait a minute, they're going, yeah, me too.
Did you open it?
The bar on top's not open
Oh,
for some
okay,
reason.
There's a
look
toolbar.
at my toolbar. All right, go ahead.
Should be a little arrow on the right.
So tentatively, this is their schedule so far. They're gonna meet on the 15th currently, with August 15th. They're starting a little earlier. I actually sat with the current budget committee chair, and we went over the schedule and matched it back to last year's schedule slightly.
So they say Tuesday, the 15th in August.
The way, I did not do those. This is the way the chair does it's August 15th, 23. It's a weird way that he set up they're all set up, it's like programmed in. So it's Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. the first meeting. They're gonna do introduction, elect officers, committee responsibilities, expectations, bylaw. They combine 2 meetings into one, and they have an open position currently, and they're going to be interviewing candidates for that open position
On the 15th.
Well, that's right, because that was left open after the,
on the 15th.
Of the
yeah.
election, yeah.
So the next one is the September 26th after that. So I've talked to Paul, the current chair, about this, and I'm gonna talk to the department heads next week. Paul wants to talk to the budget committee, but both Paul and I feel that first meeting is redundant. It's that high level where you put the budget committee and the select board in the same room, and they're supposed to be just touching base on the big things, and ends up being their step-by-step budget. And then the department heads have to go back and talk to the budget committee again, then they go back again for a public hearing. So Paul's gonna talk to the budget committee as well, and we're gonna see if we can eliminate that. If you agree that it should be eliminated. That's what I'm asking you first, sorry.
eliminate the budget committee?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was, sorry.
No, the September 26th, department head budget presentations to select board and budget committee.
Yeah, it's never made sense to have the department heads come back twice.
I think we have
Unless you
like 3 or
have
4
further
times,
follow-up questions.
right?
But if the department
So
heads ready.
Paul's feeling is that's redundant?
Yeah, we had a conversation
And I
last
would
week.
think that would be my only concern is, do they have a concern about it, or, is that a pool of them?
They're gonna talk about it on the 15th and see if they agree, but I said I
It's
would
not a
ask.
line, I don't think it's a line in the sand for us, I mean, it's just
No.
another.
I did like us hearing, well, I will, but us hearing firsthand the information that we're all hearing the same information at the same time, so it can't get skewed later. But as long as you have a person that can report back.
Well, yeah, you have a representative on the budget.
Yeah.
Okay, so yours.
Is Carol still?
The deadline, this is the same, so this does match except for toward later on in the schedule, we did have to change some dates out. But if you look, the deadline for department head budgets to the finance office would be Thursday, September 28th. And then the deadline for select board budget to the finance office would be October 19th. That would give you a month. So you could start reviewing, but is that sufficient for you? That's what happened last year because we started late.
How do we handle that, like a work session, or?
Yeah, we usually we have a work session off weeks. but- And then your presentation to the budget committee would be the 24th
Of
of October. So we could start doing the smaller budgets. We can start talking to the planning board, zoning board, we can start doing all of those things
Yeah, we
earlier
could
for
knock
you.
those out in a regular meeting.
And then start,
Yeah,
yeah. But I just didn't want, we were rushed last year, but because we started late, but technically we're kind of starting the same again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, let's try to get ahead of it a little bit by doing that, that's a good idea. I
Okay.
like that.
and then Paul is suggesting that they don't meet up the Thanksgiving week. They didn't, and Christmas and New Year's weeks. So as long as this will go before the budget committee, just to confirm with them. The latest department would be January 9th, which is highway and water and sewer. And then right now, the January 16th one, Martin Luther King holiday, well, it's not called that anymore, is it?
Support.
Yeah, I should probably fix that. That holiday week, there's no meeting, but they could have a meeting if they needed one. And then they still have revisit sections. And then, there's some of those dates we have to determine what those are, so.
Okay.
But it takes us right through. Oh, I've lost the meeting. She got kicked out.
So we need to approve them?
No. No, approve it, it's their schedule,
Yeah,
but
it's
we do
coming.
have to work it in.
Sorry, Deb got kicked out of the meeting. So I'll set up your schedule then,
Yeah.
like we did last year. But this was their budget committee, so I wanted, I'm gonna talk to the department heads on Tuesday. We have a department head meeting. So do you have any instructions for them as far as your part of the budget review?
Oh, not this early, I mean,
No,
they need to
okay.
be able to put their budget together as,
That's fine.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what they need.
without,
right?
yeah.
Okay. All right. It's weird that it's already starting.
I know, it's crazy.
Well, it's fair season.
I know, right?
Fair.
What's the first one, Lancaster?
North April,
North April.
this weekend,
Yeah.
What is?
North April Fair.
I know, I just I'm starting to get all the invites for fantasy football, I'm like, oh, come on. Not ready.
Yeah, do it by today.
Tell you about that after.
Oh, there's Deb.
Hey, Deb.
We see your head, Deb.
And a network error, sorry.
All right. We're good on budget
Okay.
for now.
We have a hazard mitigation grant extension.
So the hazard mitigation plan has been finished. It has been submitted to FEMA, but because they haven't actually approved it, we have to do a grant extension, so that we potentially lose any of the funding. There is, just to give you a heads up, there is, June Garno is the person who we worked with, who helped write the hazard mitigation plan with all of our meetings. So Ben and I reviewed and we made any corrections that needed to, it got submitted to FEMA. Then what they're finding is FEMA is kicking back some updates because of things that they've never kicked it back for before. So there is a potential we could get kicked back, and we'll fix those issues if it comes up. But to be safe, we want to make sure that we sign an extension or approve the extension. Their form is called a Town of Bristol sub-recipient, and they just said you would vote on it, have a majority of the select board sign page 1 of the grant agreement amendment form, which is this one here, so.
So do we need a motion to approve that then?
Yes. Yes.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the pre-disaster mitigation program form CFDA number 97.047, titled the Town of Bristol Subrecipient, PO number 1084438. And the exchange dated, do I need the date on there?
This one.
Yes, so, oh no, there, yes.
To extend to May 29, 2024.
Perfect.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that is 4-0.
Perfect, there's 4 lines. I was trying to make sure I didn't draw a line, that's why.
Okay. Town administrators report.
Start off with employee and department updates. The current fire station, we received a current fire station and ladder truck. We haven't received anything on the damage to the fire station, but we have received $1,302 for the ladder truck. They did deduct $1,000 off of that. Boat one replacement, we have the boat and we are using it. However, we haven't received an invoice yet to pay for the purchase, so we're working on getting that. Vehicle bids, the town is accepting bid proposals for the purchase of a 1969 Jeep truck and a 2008 Ford F-550. The bid documents are posted online and have been shared in the Bristol Buzz. Deadline for the proposals is August 2nd at 9 a.m. and we'll probably have them at your August 3rd meeting.
I didn't see it in the Bristol Buzz, but on the website there are no pictures.
There are no pictures. Yes.
I saw a picture somewhere.
I don't think you put pictures, to be honest with
We
you.
should probably have a picture of,
I'll see if I can get them tomorrow
that would be good.
and add them.
I'd like, yeah. I was gonna share it today on Facebook, and first of all, the website went to the programming language for
So-
that page.
It keeps doing that and we're working, Kate
Yeah.
and I, Kate mostly.
Second of all,
Working on trying to resolve the
I think
issue.
you might get a little bit more interest, because it says 69 Jeep, but it's
The Kaiser,
a Kaiser
yeah.
Jeep. Well, we want,
So I haven't received any bids at all right
Right.
now. So I've been told that at least 2 or 3 people are putting bids in, but we haven't received anything yet. So I will try to get pictures put with them. Do we want to, next week is the end of the bid date, bid,
just put a picture.
and okay. That was fire department. Highway department, under TA2, I put a video, but if you play it, turn the volume down. There were, I didn't put the 3 videos in, I just put the one. The only problem with you watching it here is you do need to hear it.
Yep.
To-
What you need?
but there was a private claim, and we haven't, it was denied at first, the video was provided, and we're waiting for Primex to decide what they're going to do, so.
Okay.
There's no audio. Oh, there is.
That one might not be, if, once it happens, turn the volume off, but the second video is a lot of, F-bombs. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The claim is that the truck went by, kicked something up and it hit the window and they got a spider crack that broke the window out, so.
and it happens, it's happened to me, the question is, yeah.
I did
It's
see
not
it,
our responsibility, it's the state road and repair.
that was my opinion. This person's claiming that our town truck did it, that's why we let Primex handle it. But Primex is going to most likely deny it, because I honestly don't know how you can claim that there were more than one vehicle there, so, in the picture, but.
So, most insurances are free.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where I was going. Is the person uninsured or? I guess.
So the claim, there were 2 things that were originally claimed, window and tires. Tires have nothing to do with us because
Yeah.
that side of the road is New Hampton, and it was a state road. It didn't come off the truck, it was kicked off the ground by the sounds, but I can't tell.
Let the driver do about that.
And then, so the first, when they claimed both, it was denied, and now the second, they supplied the video and Primex is re-reviewing it.
Is it a resident?
On Danforth Brook Road.
Okay. Just curious. Okay, we'll let Primex deal with it.
One thing I saw, I was following a truck, and I'm thinking, I'm probably following you too close. There's a sign on the back of it that said, "We are not responsible."
I know exactly whose truck that is.
So I'm like, is that something we should ever think about doing? But I don't know if it would matter, so.
Could legally.
You can put anything you want.
Well, yeah,
Right.
it's a town.
Right. The Bristol Hill repair under TA3, the costs are in there. We actually gave that they've started today doing the repair.
Yeah.
Oops, TA3. It's pretty cut and dried, what they're doing. The cost is a little bit, we weren't anticipating, it's an extra fee, but Mark's gonna have them cut back on what they were going to do on Bristol Hill Road so that we could get the repair in. So that was, the total estimated sum was $41,897. They have met with FEMA already. FEMA isn't declared yet, but they do want, they have talked to Ben and Mark and Victor, and they are going to, they told them to make sure they put in for everything, and got it ready. My understanding, Mark and Victor were working today on an Excel sheet that they're gonna use from now on whenever there's a storm.
Okay.
And make it easier to track. TA4, we
Yeah.
lost Deb again.
Oh,
TA4 is, you'll see my response under TA4 first. Whoops, wrong one. Based from our last meeting, this is the fencing matter. My response is the first one that you see under TA4. I came back from vacation and I should have responded before I left, but we met the 6th and I didn't remember to do this before I left. So I did talk to them, I let them know that we decided what the decisions were. And the response that has come again, they're asking for you to reconsider because they provided additional information in the next one. I honestly still can't see, even, I'll be honest, I can't see in those pictures the damage still, but the claim is that where we're plowing up isn't our property. Isn't the town, it's their property, so I'll let you take a look at all of those pictures at least.
4 to 6 feet.
So this survey on record, where is it on record?
Yeah.
Where, let's see the survey.
I'll double check with the land use office and see if they have anything on record.
I don't think it's the intent of the driver to destroy the fence.
Unless the fence has been moved from the videos to where it currently is today, it is inches from the edge of the road or this, yeah.
We'll take a look.
If you can
and see
prove it, if you can prove, we'll both check our files and see
Yeah.
what we have on the right of way near call to
Yeah.
Coleman. I bet you he probably has some data on that.
I bet he does too, yeah.
For the record, that would be our surveyor, Coleman Brown. And we'll see how that matches up or doesn't match up.
Well, and just in case, because they might be watching the video, I
That's
will
fine.
have this done for the next
No,
meeting. It
no, I
won't be
understand.
until the August 17th meeting.
August 17th,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I can't get down, shoot.
I'm not sure what this is. Close-ups are supposed to be showing. Okay.
The next one, the police department, Wellington details have expanded. They're over the original amount plans. My understanding is anything that's under $3,000, they don't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. But now they've added more details, and so one of the things that we have to fill out is a municipality certificate of authority. In the past, the TA changed it from clerk secretary to TA and updated accordingly and just dated it April 1st. But I wasn't clear if it was ever brought to the board, and knowing my luck, if I had just done that, we would have to prove that you actually voted on it.
Yep.
So if you could vote on it, and just give both myself and the police chief authority, for Wellington details and filling out the paperwork, that would be great.
Okay.
You don't have to sign anything, you just have to vote on it.
Okay, I'll make a motion to supply the municipality certification of authority, and authorize the town administrator and the police chief to sign.
Second.
Is there any questions, comments?
So has there been an increase in the issues at the Wellington as we?
No, nothing that I'm aware of yet at the boat landing. These are details, for the traffic, I believe, coming into Wellington.
Okay.
So,
Oh, in and out, okay.
yeah.
Not the police, the boat launch.
No, not yet. I will clarify with the police chief, but these are the details going in.
Yeah.
So.
It's rained every weekend up until this past weekend, so.
Right.
Um,
Okay, hold on.
go ahead.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstentions? That's 4-0.
Well, the clean copy must be on the printer. The next one was the updated patrol officer job description. The only thing that I also added is that it is labor grade 13, I forgot to tell you that. But we've made the changes as discussed. So I have the clean copy if you're okay with the updated job description. I would just need a motion to approve it.
Make a motion to approve the updated patrol officer jobs.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Second by Scott. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstentions, that's 4-0.
Going along with that, because we're approving the job description, the assumption would be we can go ahead and start to advertise for the position, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
So we'll do that, and we'll get that posted, and we'll get the advertising out for that as well. The next one is a concern that was raised on speeding on North Main Street.
Is that in the TA report?
Yeah.
There isn't a file in there, it's under the TA report though, it should just say 08 TA1, the actual report. I didn't put the email in because Chris and I had been communicating about other items, but we
I
did.
saw the email, and he had also reached out to me to ask who to talk to about the thank you, so.
Okay, just remind me. So the concern was raised that there is, there are 3 to 5 cars that have been speeding along North Main Street going incredibly fast. They believe that they've been going 60 to 70 miles per hour. The concern was that this isn't a new problem, and that all of the police chief is addressing it, but it still seems to be an issue. One of the things that we followed up on from the last meeting was Chris had a conversation with the area or town fire chief. And he has agreed no one should be driving on North Main Street responding to calls, and he would address the issue.
Sounded like he was very responsive to
Very,
that from what I heard.
yeah. So that helps with some of it, but Chris has also added that they've put out to do extra patrols on North Main Street. So I'm not sure how this will affect the concern that was raised. I asked Chris about one of the things I said, not that I said, do you think if we put the speed trailer, or do we still even have it? I said, that wouldn't work, and it is not working right now, and they put a grant in to get another one. So, so we can't put that out right now, but, they are doing extra patrols.
It is really bad.
Yeah.
There's
Is it?
no
You are
way
saying?
they could stop for, if a kid was there.
Yeah.
That speed trail's not gonna do a damn thing.
No, it's not.
They've had it up there before.
I will say that the person who had made those contacts did give kudos to Officer Schaffner, who had responded that very same day. He actually went down and talked with Eli, and Eli was there that day and caught a couple of folks. So he
I mean,
really,
that's,
really
it's a
appreciated.
30-year problem.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's just the point is, he really appreciated him listening and taking action.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The ones that get me are the ones that turn really fast and cut the corner going down Hobart.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're coming up, it's,
Yeah,
they're cutting that lane so much. I see it all the time.
yeah.
So Chris is working on it, it just, I'm not sure it'll be addressed as quickly as we would like to have it addressed,
Yeah.
so.
I can come up with some.
Other ideas, let us know.
Yeah, and it gets treated as the cut through to
Yeah,
avoid town. It really is never any faster, no matter whether you're speeding or not.
Yeah.
and then you forget at the end, that corner, and all of a sudden you're at the stop sign.
There's been tracks, there's been tracks that have gone down over that bank, and there was recently, just
Yeah,
3
recently
weeks
there was
ago.
a set tracks that went
Oh,
off.
down by the
But
Ledgewater
blue.
sign?
No,
Yeah, the Ledgewater sign, yes.
Yes.
Ledgewater. There
Yeah.
has been in years past, but
but this is up by, the
By
house that
Blue,
Melinda-
just past
Melinda
Blue.
built.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
across
yeah.
the road, you can see a nice ditch line going up the side of the.
all 4 tires off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when Chris will give us a little bit more feedback, in the next couple of meetings, and we'll see what.
Even on weekends, on Saturdays or Sundays when we're playing softball down there, and you see cars drive by, and some of them are going.
I don't know how anyone can go through there
With
at
a car
more than
parked.
like 15 miles an
Oh,
hour.
yeah.
I am petrified of a kid running
Oh, yeah,
up
me
into
too.
his cars.
So we actually went down there, it was for one of the youth games, and this kid went flying by, and Frank Dolph happened to know who it was, and said, oh, I wonder if I stole his father's number. So then we had gone to the beach afterwards, and I'm sitting down there, and he says, isn't that the car that went flying by? I'm like, you're right back. So I went over to the kid, I said, hey, you so-and-so? Yeah. I said, well, hey, here's what happened. I said, I get it, you're 16, you just get your license. I said, but here's the problem. And the kid was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'll make sure that never happens. The kid was awesome,
Yeah.
you know, it's just that, 16?
Yep.
Carol Brown said, crummy internet, do you still need him on?
Yes, just to be a pain.
Ruin his vacation.
For 5 minutes.
Okay. Water sewer department, they're still doing the last set of wastewater treatment tours is August 9 from 8 to noon, if anyone is interested and like to attend. They would meet at 180 Ayers Island Road. All of a sudden I can't talk. And the tours are approximately 4 hours. Under TA6, the consumer confidence reports have been accepted and recommended changes for next year's reports have been submitted. So they provided a letter that just it tells them what they recommend all should be done for next year's report. So, but other than that, everything was good. So the next thing I have, the EDA has requested that the board submit authorization for MEDA. So Economic Development Authority is the part of the funding for the Central Street and Lake Street we've been working with them for 6 months or more,
Yeah.
trying to get the extension and the change of the plans approved. And I got an email Friday that I needed to have a municipal authority because he says, I'm like, we've been doing this for 6 months. He's like, yeah, did you replace Nick? And I'm like, well, it's kind of late for you to ask if I replaced Nick. And he laughed. And, but he said, yeah, I just need it to, when I submit everything, I need to have
All right.
the authority. So I wrote a quick letter that's in TA7 if you wanted to read it. But I would need a motion to grant me authority to work for the DDA.
Make a motion that we approve Christina as the authorized representative for the EDA.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0. Assessing land use.
The Department of Revenue they're usually a little bit behind. They're doing their 2021 cyclical monitoring report. That's in your packet under TA8. What it is they just conduct reviews of the work that was done by our assessing firm. They do a random selection. The assessing firm has to submit a report that says what they've done, and they do a random selection. If they find any errors, they score points. Out of the report that you see attached, there's only one error that scored points. So just wanted to let you know. The next one is the DRA update reval year. We requested that they change it. Didn't know that we had to ask this when apparently when we changed our reval year from 2021 to 2020 previously,
Yeah,
we were supposed to ask permission to do that.
okay.
Where they're not holding anything against us, but in order to get our assessment review, is just a review of our work, in line with the reval year, we had to request that they change it, and they did grant that. So our new reval year was 2025.
Yeah.
So. Hall Road, I have no additional updates from DES. They were supposed to visit the site last week. I've been told that they did do a drive-by, and the drive-by was inconclusive, and they are gonna speak to the property owner. I have sent them an email letting them know that I'm coming to the board on August 3rd if there's no resolution, to ask the board to no longer do enforcement.
Yeah.
So I'll have that at your next meeting.
Yep.
So, and I've also let the property owner know that's where I'm at, and so he's aware, so. Town clerk, tax collector's office, the AC repair, that I had given you a heads up about last week, is fixed. Unfortunately, it ended up costing about $2,900 to fix a leak that was outside. They tested the system, they used a pressurized testing, a nitrogen testing, and there's no other leaks. They found it outside. So the concern he had is that we could have potentially shortened the life of that unit because for a month and a month and a half now, it's been running with almost no refrigerant off and on. So it's working now.
Yeah.
It's under warranty?
I would think that's
Right,
probably.
well, just showing the life, right, but
That's
it's not
probably
gonna say there's no
expired,
warranty.
but, shoot. Executive Department, Public Safety Building, committee met today. I'll give you the quick report. The admin slab has been poured. They are working on a quote right now for cabling lights, which is the parking lot lights, and then, so from Jeff Goodrum right now. They're working on updating the rendering. We did get an update, but it's wrong, so we don't want to share it until we get the correct one. The framing drawings and the MEP drawings are expected next week.
MEP drawing?
What's MEP again? Mechanical something.
I can't remember.
Mechanical, electric.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
there you go, mechanical electric plumbing. We did, I don't know if we told you, we did get the state DOT permit, they've approved it for the width we wanted. So we were able to, well, the width we needed. They wanted to shorten the 85-foot width, but they've allowed it to continue at 85 foot,
Yeah.
so.
How much do we want?
We asked for 85, they wanted to shorten it to 50, which would have been extremely difficult to get a ladder truck in and out of there, so. They're working on an easement, which we'll probably have before the board for Eversource to move the pole from where its current location is. And then there's a few other minor details that they were working on. There has been a request from a member of the public to add to the Public Safety Building Committee. I did talk to the committee. The committee there's 8 members currently on the committee. They feel adding someone at this point I don't know if it would be detrimental, but it wouldn't be beneficial to add somebody at this point. So I'm putting that out for the board.
I think it's well stocked at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's late in the game to add.
All right.
What is the communication thing they set up with the solar?
So that's the camera. It's gonna take pictures of the project, and then
Progress. Yeah.
they're gonna give us, at the end of the
Yeah,
project, we'll get a slow motion
Time lapse.
time-lapse
Okay.
video of the whole project, so.
Okay.
And they don't charge, well, they don't charge us any extra for that,
Yeah.
but, the other part along with the public safety building, the milestone schedule is under TA9, if you'd like to take a look at it. They have given us this project schedule, but that's what they submitted for a schedule.
basic,
Basic, yes.
but it does
very.
have,
It's under TA,
When did you get that?
it's 08 TA9 Bristol.
Oh, it's 10. Okay. No, that's.
how long have we been asking for that?
Yeah.
It's not 9.
So they might have the roof on instead
not
of
9 in
before
yours?
Christmas.
It should say 08 TA-9 Bristol PSB. Are you in?
It says milestone on it, yeah.
One of TA, so my TA9 is updated language approved from.
Oh, no, so there's 2.
Oh, never mind.
You got it?
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm blind. Yeah, that's not acceptable. I'll say it in the meeting too. When's that?
We meet in 2 weeks
Yeah.
again, so we should probably talk to them about it.
Yeah.
So that, and then the second part of that is the other TA9. We are waiting for final approval. The builder's risk, I'm not sure if we've met since then. So the builder's risk insurance, Primex denied us, unless we made a bunch of changes. And there was a lot of changes on the contract. We called Primex, Ben and I, because the contract was signed back in March, something like that. And they said if we only changed this paragraph, they would accept it. The wording was a little bit different than what's in front of you, and Gruen had some concerns with it. So we supplied 2 different types of wording to Primex, and this is the one Primex picked. I sent it to Gruen. They were comfortable with it in the meeting today, but I'm waiting for final confirmation.
Okay.
Once we get that, we're gonna have Sean draw up a amendment to the contract so that both parties can sign, and then get it all to Primex, and we should be all set.
Okay.
So, we will be covered for anything, materials on site that are the property of the town of Bristol. Gruen will carry another builder's risk insurance to cover equipment and tools and anything on site that isn't ours yet, so. We should have, hopefully the first audit report was supposed to be this week. Tomorrow's the last day, so I'll check with them. Financial reports, just wanted to touch base with you. I know that they get emailed out. Do you like them being emailed out to you separate, or would you prefer them to be in your packets?
I like getting them.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions about them, just let me or Bob know. Mooney Clark Landing, I just wanted to clarify on Mooney Clark Landing. From day one, I think the understanding when Nick was here and the meetings that we had and the attorney, and correct me if I misunderstood, but the assumption was that the town would own the property. What it is we are responsible for the maintenance upkeep of the property. And that's where the line kind of got blurred. We still have to go through the fish and game process. We will do our part and the hydro is doing their part. We're both doing two processes for the same goal. The only thing the hydro wants to make sure they keep is their flowage rights.
Yeah.
So in TA 11, Ned Gordon and I have been nominated, and we're just waiting for the Governor Sununu and the Executive Council to approve the appointments so that we can move forward.
Okay.
The next one is just an update for you, an FYI. Constellation is the company that we contract with to get the lower rate on a portion of our electric bill. They provide a graph showing 3 months of electric and natural gas price trends. So that's for your information. Grafton County ARPA. Under TA 13, I created a thank you letter that I thought would be good from the board, fire chief, police chief, myself to sign. If you agree, it's thanking them for their donation, or grant, I guess you would call it, under the ARPA funds.
Yep.
Great. So that's here for you to
just sign that
sign.
around.
Sign that. The second round of beach testing was done after we had that conversation at the last meeting. It was done while I was on vacation. Test results came out back great. They're included in your packet on TA 14 in case you want to take a look at them, but it's a huge difference from what we had on the first round. So, and we are still doing our regular testing. I think it will be either this week or next week. We'll be doing another round of testing. So we'll be able to take a look at, make sure that the trend is still staying down there. The shed, if you haven't noticed, has been painted. I wanted to thank Ron Shaman because he did a great job and it looks awesome. The one outside here. It's not red anymore. It's nice white, looks good, but the building, you probably don't even notice it's there, so.
I don't, because all I can see is that pod. Yeah.
And the door that's out there, I got from the transfer station. We're gonna use it to do the last open space and put a door with the sheetrocking that's upstairs. So, but we'll move it up. It's just really heavy. I unloaded it. So, the next one is an issue. Eversource Make Ready billing. There's a couple of different things in TA 15. So we received a bill from Eversource through EX Squared. It's called Make Ready or True Up. We were quoted in 2020, $5,611, which they were paid from out of the CARES Act. If you look at the letter, the bill, you can see that it's a reimbursement off of it. But the additional billing that we've received 3 years later is $10,218. It's 3 times, it ends up being it ends up being 3 times what we originally quoted.
What is this for?
So in 20, these were poles, fiber, along with the fiber project in 2020. We have not gotten complete clarification on exactly what it was for. I've requested it. EX Squared requested it and they said this is all we have. Their claim is that we signed a contract and they can do what they call a true up once it's done with what it actually costs. My question to them is, are you billing us for 2020 figures? Are you billing us for 2023 figures? Are you billing us for betterment? Because EX Squares believes that they put in taller poles than we requested for betterment, and I'm like, well, are you billing us for that? You need to give us more information. You're asking us to pay $10,000.
Not in my bill.
Well, yeah, without anything.
Yeah.
I contacted the town's attorney, and he says that the only option that we have to dispute it is to go to New Hampshire Public Utilities Commission. He said that their staff can serve as intermediary and try to work out a solution. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's a complete waste of time. But, so we can go that route if you decide. This bill is hanging out, and we're waiting for a final answer from them. to
I would
see-
say we'd be happy to pay as long as we know what we're paying for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because they give us these totals, how it, labor,
Yeah,
but we don't know,
And I think, good question on your part, about what rates are we being charged?
right. So, all right, so I'll hopefully have more information.
Okay.
They haven't responded to me yet, but we haven't paid it either yet. This build, Eversource meter update, they changed out our meter on this building to an on-demand meter because we were using too much watts for 3 months, and it's because the PD moved in, I believe. And when I called to talk to them about it, they said that's their policy, it doesn't matter if the PD's gonna move back out next year or not. So we're gonna keep an eye on how much our billing changes. But once the PD moves, if we stay below that amount for 3 months, then they'll change the meter back.
So what's the difference?
They said that it's a demand meter, extra charge on how much is being requested from the grid.
Well, I get that, but
We
I'm
don't-
curious why the meter has to change.
Because we're used for 3 months over 5,000 watts each month.
I get that, but the meter is just metering.
It's a different meter apparently. So there's a regular meter and there's an on-demand meter. And because when you use over a certain amount of kilowatts, their policy is they change you from a regular to an on-demand, which is gonna charge us more money by the sounds, but I don't know what that impact's gonna be yet.
Yeah.
They came and changed, we got the letter the same day they showed up and changed it without telling us.
Yeah.
Because I come down to talk to the town clerk and I said, when they get here, I want to talk to them. And they're like, well, they've already been here and changed it. So, we'll just keep an eye on the bill and see how it affects us, but. And we'll charge the extra to the PD.
I'll ask in my meeting tomorrow why there has to be a different meter.
Yeah, you might know.
All right.
I just wanted to announce the open positions. Budget Committee is accepting applications for any interested candidates they have one open position. Anybody who's interested should fill out an application to serve on a board or committee. And I will submit it to the town administrator by August 7th,
Is that the open position from the election?
the election. Yeah.
So, I'm a little confused.
So I can tell you,
So I got on by being written in.
they weren't supposed to do that.
Oh. Avoid all my votes from last year.
So, the way, and I don't know if I brought it with me, I did read the RSA and, so they've been doing it wrong. But, so what they have to do is the budget committee has to interview and pick someone. And if the write-in candidates are interested, all they have to do is put their name in. We
Now, does
appreciate-
that appointment have to be approved by the select board?
No.
No,
No.
I don't believe so.
No, we don't have appointment.
No, I believe
I
they
didn't
do
think
that.
so.
They appoint it.
Yeah.
And they would only appoint it to fill the term of the person,
Who would
the
have
position,
filed.
right?
Yeah.
So. But that's what they're doing on August 15th. We've received one candidate so far. And we'll hopefully, if anybody else is interested, get their applications in.
Yeah.
So. Cemetery trustees, you do appoint. So that's why I said the select board is accepting applications for any interested candidates for one open position. And we put August 31st as a deadline because we've had this advertisement up without a deadline and we're not getting any
Yeah.
interested
Yeah.
parties. We do have currently a library director position, and that's a full-time position. That information's all on the website if anybody's interested. And it tells who they're supposed to submit their application to. We do have a transfer station lead attendant, currently part-time. We might have someone, fingers crossed. And then we also have open position for transfer station attendant part-time, and then all those are on the website. Concert schedule, concerts are continuing on Thursdays through August 24th. There will be no concert on August 10th. Please go participate in the Rotary Penny Sale. Household hazardous waste day is Saturday, August 5th from 8:30 to noon at New Farm Regional High School, and everything, they seem to have a full volunteer staff, so I think things are going well there. Do you have any questions about that?
Nope.
Touch a Truck event is scheduled for Hazel's Park at Wells Field on August 6th. I don't have the hours yet, I should have those shortly. Communications. There's a letter from Patriot Hydro LLC. It's under, I didn't know, apparently I didn't put it in. Whoops, wrong way. Sorry. It's under TA 16. It pretty much is a notification of a drawdown from Eastman Falls Hydro. They will lower the water level approximately 8 feet before norm, 8 feet beginning 8/25, and it will be raised back up to normal level beginning September 16th. It's to enable the U.S. Army Corps to conduct tunnel inspections. They're holding a public hearing at Ayers Island Hydro on August 10th at 1 p.m. The dam in question is located in the city of Franklin, and according to the flyer, it says that it affects Franklin, Hill, Samberton, and New Hampton. Is there any concerns from us? Okay.
Kurt Marie.
All committees meeting, all committees project that we're working on. The surveys are just about done and should be out hopefully by tomorrow. I've got them all created and ready to go. My question was if you look at TA 17, that's a list of the committees that were on the website or off the top of my head. Do you want all of these committees to be participating in this, all committees? The reason I ask, I've highlighted 3 that I wasn't sure if they should be involved.
It says 11 to 3 for tables.
Good, 11, so that's August 6th from 11 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 3 that are highlighted, I wasn't sure if they should be involved.
Hold on. Here's, yeah, no, I don't see.
Those 3. Are there any others on that list that you think should be? And this was, so Bruce is gonna be our moderator. Bruce came up with a nice letter, and also like an outline of where we wanna go with this. We haven't finalized it yet, but this was the list from the website. Do we include the 3rd from the top? The difficulty is the membership. And
Well, even
maintenance.
But are there any, I guess, maintenance schedule, but
Yeah,
fireworks even.
well, that's the thing. I don't even know if we would include them.
Yeah, I would scratch the 3rd from the top and fireworks.
And then the other highlighted ones?
Yep.
Okay. And there's nothing you can think of that we're missing?
God, I hope not.
I know that's
I
a
know.
lot of communities.
Well, I've gotten all but like 3 created, so it's ready to go, and then we'll get them out, but I hope not. Steve, please forgive me if you're listening and I butcher your name. Steve Nilhaas is the new superintendent. He did reach out, and Scott had actually asked if we should invite him to our next meeting. I did reach out to him and I've invited him to the next 3, and he's not available for any of them. So my question for the board is, does the board have any specific topics that they would like to discuss with him? Or do members wish to set up a meet and greet during the day? He did respond to me and said that he'd be willing to meet with me at any time, or, and it sounded like more during the day.
Yeah.
Or do we want to try and get him in for September or October?
Starting pretty busy in
Right.
September, October.
So I was thinking a day, if there was 1 or 2 members who wanted to come in and meet
Yep.
with him, we could do that.
You can do a Zoom.
Yeah, oh, we could do a Zoom.
Yeah. Because it would be, well, it's technically,
Doesn't count as a quorum.
why, because you're all on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do that. Let's try to set up a Zoom for maybe sometime late afternoon as possible.
Yep.
Is it? No.
Well, anybody
If people
can
can't make it, you can't make it.
Right.
Yeah. So we would just meet here and he would be on Zoom? Well,
No,
No,
you
you
could
could
just
all
be
be on
anywhere.
Anyway, okay.
You could be
And,
on-
or if you can't come, it's fine. I just want to make sure that you have an opportunity to talk to them. One of the topics I was thinking was using the school
Yeah,
potentially for voting, if that's what we wanted to talk to them about, but I didn't know if there were other topics.
well, there's the whole, I'm not sure how committed he is to the capital improvement plan,
Mm-hmm.
which they've talked about in the last year. His thoughts on the Bridgewater Hebron situation.
Which are even broad.
Yeah,
School resource officer would be a good time to
Yeah.
talk about.
Just had. I didn't talk to him specifically yet about the snow,
So,
Oh, yeah,
bumps,
there's bumps.
what are the speed bumps, but
or even just the maintenance of the roadway.
yeah.
so I'll try to set up a Zoom like a late afternoon, see what he's available for.
Okay.
Okay. Let's make ready. We just wanted to announce that we've accepted a conditional offer. You've approved a conditional offer, of new hire for a shared assistant for the town clerk, tax collector, and executive potentially. That is Michaela Coffin. So you've already approved this in the non-public, we're just announcing it for everybody to know.
Yep. Les had a comment before you go on.
Well, I know we've talked about trying to meet with all the select board in the different towns at some point. And it just dawned on me that really the school board should be invited to any conversation like that.
I would think so, yeah.
Do we want to?
I'm not
Sorry.
pushing to do it, I'm just saying that.
Do we want to start with the superintendent and then,
Oh, yeah.
and then invite the school board to a select board meeting?
I was thinking more if you did the all communities, we talked about
Oh,
doing
that one.
towns.
Yeah. There's been well, with the exception of one town, there's been a significant turnover in leadership of the towns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially Alexandria, and I know in
Oh,
talking, in New Hampton,
they
yeah.
will be, yes.
Yeah, and in talking with Alexandria, they are keen to,
Yeah.
they are keen to find any way to work together as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start this way first.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up, we've had a donation. I don't think we've told him yet that we would like the donation, so, a new lawn, so a member of the select board has purchased a new lawnmower and is donating the old one for use in dragging the field at Kelly Park. We haven't told him officially that we would like it, but we would if he still has it. And we just have to make arrangements to make room for it. So if you could let Mark know, or you could talk to Mark about arrangements, that would be great. And I just wanted to say thank you for the donation. So,
I guess the biggest part is, I mean, leaving it down there, but also for the coaches to have access to it is, I guess, the biggest question.
they
Or
won't
who
have-
would have access to it?
I was gonna say, they won't have access to the maintenance building though.
Well, and that's the whole key, I guess.
Leave it outside and cover it. Get the key out, put the key in the dugout.
Would it, is it a big, is it big?
No, it's,
With a regular sized lawn tractor.
I don't have the deck's off of it right now, so it's narrower. It's like 3 feet wide.
It would fit into a dugout door, would it? We
Well-
Oh, no, wouldn't, the machine wouldn't. I'm
Right.
talking about the key.
Okay. No, I was
But-
thinking, we've talked about before, we did it once before with the big snow blower. We put a door, we talked
Yeah,
about
door in the
putting
dugout.
doors on the
Well-
dugouts, period, but
That fence needs to be repaired too. I guess, I don't even know how it got like that.
We'll figure it out. Which fence?
On the third base dugout on the end, the fencing is like, there's a big hole in it.
Oh.
Yeah, I did let
Well,
Highway know
also-
that.
Yeah.
Maybe Ron could take a look at that too.
hole in fencing.
It's kind of convenient because you can go on the outside and just leave your glove or your drink, just reach in and grab it.
Take our window.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, it doesn't need to be there. That end does not need to be there.
Well, we also talked about whether.
Unless you're
we
securing
block the
something.
dugouts, whether we put a door and
Yeah,
block the
that-
dugouts. And the part of the reason
That'll get
is
broken
that there's
down.
been so much activity in the dugouts at night of
Yeah.
people being in there, staying in there overnight and leaving things
Yeah.
not good.
But thank you for the donation.
Yes, thank you for your donation.
Yeah.
Now, we'll have to get back to you on
I still have
whether
to
you can
service
access.
Yeah, so pretty much I've been trying to get it down there, dropped off before the games on Sundays, and then when I play on during the week, but some of the teams during the week don't have access to it. But then again, I don't know if they'd use it anyways.
Yeah.
There are some teams that probably won't, so.
Okay.
That's it for the TA report.
Okay. Selectmen items, Les.
I was afraid you'd say me first. I don't have anything pressing.
Okay. I had the communication from the resident on North Main, which we've talked about. I have that meeting tomorrow morning, which we've talked about. I received you could call it a complaint, contact through the website regarding the dog licenses and the collection of said dog license fees by the police department. They were pretty upset about that. I did follow up with the tax collector's office and the town administrator and got the deal, and it's a New Hampshire RSA, and we have no option on enforcing it or not. The complaint was that they had better things to do, and they probably agree with that
I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
sentiment.
I'll do a little more research on it, but I will also let you know that there possibly might have been a software issue. In case you get any complaints.
Okay.
Because, there were some reports that people had reported their dog passed away 3 years ago.
Yeah, I had heard that on one of the threads on Facebook. The person who complained to me said that she did not receive the 2 letters that had gone out.
They're postcards, so they could probably have gotten lost somehow, but
I don't know, I'm just passing along the concern. And I think it's a concern that comes up every year at about this time. And I'm not saying that there's anything we can do about it, but I did tell her that I would follow up, and I did follow up with the tax collector to see what the process was. And they have, records of mailings and all of that, so.
And we'll do a little more research, but we think we figured out what the software issue is, and hopefully that will fix things going forward. There was a large list
Right,
this year, so.
okay.
So,
I think that's all I had. Yeah, no, that was, we talked about that previously. Yeah. Rob?
Just one quick thing was brought to my attention this morning. Apparently, there was a joint training exercise held on the town beach the other day.
I heard about that as well,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
And our town department wasn't even invited.
It's fishing game, right?
No,
No.
it was the Hebron Hill Fire Department.
That I did not hear about.
Yeah, and apparently the Alexandria and Bridgewater Fire Departments were invited.
Danbury was there too, I
And
believe.
Danbury, Alexandria
That was-
apparently was not there, but Bristol was never even notified,
That
or,
was the conversation you came in and about
Okay.
permission for the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I thought that you were talking about because they had a training session maybe a couple days before that in the evening. Bristol did, I saw them over by Cummings Beach.
it was in Bristol.
Oh, that was in Bristol?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I think it needs to be cleared.
Yes, so just,
That was the
that's why
same
I
one.
said.
Yeah, okay.
It needs to be made clear to
Yeah.
the fire chief of those two departments, who happens to be the same person, that he needs the town's permission to do that.
Yeah.
Especially when the beach is open.
So it was after the 6 o'clock, but,
Yeah, it was in the evening. I
But-
left the
You
softball.
still notify the town
Yeah.
Well,
that
yeah,
you're
that's-
using
yeah.
their property for something.
yeah.
Could have moved the property.
Okay, Scott?
I had something that I already forgot about.
Our planning board,
Are we going back around again, or do you want me to just get into that now? Planning board?
well,
You only get one shot.
you.
Okay, so planning board. Planning board, we had 2 meetings. I brought the minutes with me, but they're on the car, so I was late. So, the biggest one, well, one of them that I remember most recently is from last night. So there's gonna be a site plan adjustment
Oh, yeah.
for Lake Street property. There was a concern prior, the approval was contingent upon parking and coming to an agreement with the neighbor. And they could not come to an agreement with the neighbor.
This is across from Public Safety Building?
Yes.
So they ended up purchasing the property. And the property adjacent to it.
Actually, so there are 3 properties they purchased technically. The former Corbeil property is 2 properties.
Yeah,
So they purchased both those, and they purchased Kelly's Grooming.
And they're gonna be making improvements to
Everything.
the parking lot, everything. The entire corner eventually will be done over.
It'll be a one-way flow into the parking lot too. So people hopefully won't be using it.
So they just gotta continue to
rent the,
rent to let
Yes,
Kelly's.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Might,
yes.
What, PB, is that PB?
No, it'd
No.
be
ABC, slippery slides.
slippery
Yes,
slides,
yes,
that's
yeah.
one.
I can't,
slippery
there is a
slide.
PB and J
Something.
daycare somewhere.
Yeah, that's
So
what
they started
Something
with the
like-
middle building, the former pawn shop building.
Yeah,
And
yes, right.
they changed their plan too, that it's also they're gonna have the roastery in there now. And the tapas.
Sweet.
So-
Roastery?
The
Coffee
roastery,
roaster.
Smell good.
so the roastery is actually out of their garage.
Wow.
They went through the town and got permission to do the roastery out of their garage on Prospect Street.
That's cool.
And their concern is it's a little sketchy when people are like, well, where do you do your,
Yeah.
yeah, your garage.
So
So now that they're opening the restaurant, said they were gonna put an office on the side, and now they're gonna put the roastery in
Are
there.
these local people? Or-
Yeah.
It's, the Dupas. They, Rick and
The
Margaret
Prospect
Dupa.
Street, the Halloween hangout.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Good. So it should, over the next few years, they've put in a large chunk of investment into that properties, or properties.
It's a real.
So, yeah, no, it'll be nice, it should be nice over time, so. And we thank them for doing so.
Yeah, absolutely.
That will be an improvement.
Yeah.
The week before, the meeting
You worked
before.
I know, that's why there was
Yeah.
2 weeks where I had both of them.
You worked a little on steep slopes, they're proposing some changes to whatever, and ridge lines, and that they're proposing to get those on the ballot this year.
Right.
That was this week. Don't ask me, because I wasn't here last meeting.
And then, I can't remember the other ones, the other.
You did,
Site
you
plans.
had incorrectly delineated wetland for
Yeah.
Hemlock Brook Road. They were able to prove that the town, we can tell you that too. So they were able to prove that the town's wetlands layer was inaccurate, so they went through the Conservation Commission to do that and the planning board.
Yep.
When that happens, the thought was we were gonna correct the town's layer, but it's too, so you'd have a lot here with the wetland covering it all, and this one would have nothing, and then this one over here would have it covering it all. So we are creating with the mapping company a different layer that when they are when we're able to get these ones that are proven, right now the suggestion is to call it proven soils, and that will show it, the correct
Are we still
layer.
working on the same overlay from like 30 years ago?
Yeah, I think the Conservation Commission is going to probably recommend or pursue
Yeah,
funding to be able to update it.
yeah, because that's,
With technology nowadays.
yeah,
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think, what was it was steep slopes that you were talking about pursuing,
Yeah, and
planning
then
board
would they modify
a
that?
better layer, so,
Yeah, yes, yeah, with the, funding,
yeah.
budget
So,
funding, yeah.
I don't remember what else you had at that last
Oh,
meeting.
there's subdivision up on Peaked Hill,
That's been continued.
yeah.
There's a proposed subdivision for 5 lots on one side of the road. And then on the other side of the road, they did a lot line adjustment with the Gilpatricks. And then they were subdividing, but that's been continued, because they didn't have their state
right
subdivision.
after Gilpatrick's Drive, right, both sides of the road.
Yeah, but, yeah, across the street is 5 lots. They have some wetlands running through it. They hadn't done state subdivision, and they didn't do any test pits, so they've been continued. And then we've been getting a lot of incorrectly delineated wetlands, but we don't have any other option because of the way the zoning is written.
Right.
So there's another one that's been continued, and they are coming back in both, and they've canceled their August 9th meeting, but everything's coming back on August 23rd, so. I think that's it.
We didn't get anything back on that, on the wetlands issue on Hall Road, did we?
That's the one I mentioned earlier.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yes, the drive-by.
They did a drive-by, it was inconclusive.
Okay, so
Oh, that clears things right up.
yeah,
Yeah, you should read the email. It's a one sentence that says, we did a drive-by, it could be a wetland. And Kim, do you have the phone number of the owner? That was after I sent my email, which was pretty much, we're not doing this anymore.
I was thinking it was relative to flooding we had up there, not that property.
No, I'll have more for you on the 3rd, for, if they don't respond, it'll be a final decision from our side, so.
All right, anything else? All right.
Oh, I had something else,
We
Alright.
almost know.
No, so,
Oh, wait,
The downtown lighting.
I have one more thing.
so I spent.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's what yes, no, okay, no, there's 2 things, so 2 things. The concert last Saturday night,
Yes.
Saturday, a week and a
Voices
half ago.
Against Violence?
Oh, great.
No, Saturday.
Saturday, so Saturday night.
The Rumbo Chili concert downtown was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The,
And a lot of people
Purple
enjoyed
Pit
that.
uses-
yes,
Yeah.
that was fun.
We
Like, they're-
have granted them, by the way, they do have permit to use the Central
Right.
Square.
Yeah, I was asked that, I'm like, did
There's
they
not
pull
supposed to
the
be
mic?
any alcohol in the square, but
Within the fence, the permanent areas.
there's no,
Just within the
They
roped
have-
off,
yeah.
No,
within the roped off
in the
area
square
Yeah.
itself.
of the businesses
Right,
that
the
are
businesses,
licensed to
correct.
serve.
Correct.
Correct.
Not in the green space. though.
Right.
We call
That
it
never
green
happens.
We could just pass an ordinance that
So,
says you can do that.
so,
space. You can if it's catered.
so it was a great evening. There was a good crowd. I mean, not as many as the Thursday nights, but
No, I went by
But it
and
was nice.
it was a perfect night, and we haven't had many of those. Weather-wise, the bugs weren't too bad, but the music was great. So if we ever have a chance to hire them for,
Oh, yeah, good idea.
we gotta do it. They're
Who were they?
Rumbo Chili.
Rum boat.
it's Mary's two sons, Tom and Mary's two sons.
Oh, they're not, they
Yeah.
don't do kid
Adam
jazz
and Jacob.
anymore?
Adam Jacob.
No, not Kid Jazz. They've graduated.
Rum boat chili.
No, what she
Or
said, they're not kid jazz
Wasn't it
anymore.
Rock Swing Rockets or something?
Yes,
like
that was
that?
after.
Right?
That was
Yeah.
when they. Yeah, that was with
So
Tom
they
and
play
Mary.
a lot, like, I guess like down south New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Mass,
Vermont,
Vermont.
yeah, and they did a.
They're on
they did a
Facebook.
night-
Because we've had them before, but.
They did
not
2
that.
nights at Bike Week. and-
Oh, that's
Oh, did they?
Yeah, at High Octane.
I'll email Claire.
It's just nice though, having that activity in the
Yes.
downtown for everybody.
And the businesses were pretty busy, so
Yeah.
there was a large crowd in
Yeah,
front
the
of
restaurants
Shacks.
are busy.
So Shacks was busy and Pizza Panda was pretty busy too. Their takeout wasn't as busy, but that's.
But anyways,
But
item
anyways,
number 2.
But anyways, yeah. Number 2, I think I might have a solution for the streetlights. How the one person was complaining about them, the complaints on the streetlights. And yes, there is an adapter there with a series of bolts, set screws around them. So maybe if the highway department went around with some matching spray paint just to hit this, so the silver bolts won't stick out as much and it won't look like an adapter.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I see.
or change, I mean, you could swap those bolts out and put a set screw doesn't stick out as far and it sticks. There could be a remedy there. Size-wise, but it's that adapter that has the bolts, 2 sets.
And they stick out. They do, yeah. Yeah.
I also like bravado.
Yeah.
But when we were at the concert, then the lights all kicked on, everybody's like, oh. It was pretty bright, but yeah, no,
I thought your solution was to change half of them back to the old style and keep half of them.
no,
Yeah.
negative. Just
Pick everybody up.
spray paint.
Yeah.
So do you want me to ask them? to
Yeah, see if there's something.
Try it at least on one and see what happens
Yeah.
with it?
Yeah, let's do an experiment.
I just have to add, really want, were you aware of a verbal agreement with Hub 66 to use the space down by the treatment plant, the lower transfer station?
No.
So there's a
It was already down
verbal,
there.
this is prior to me, however, it's come to my attention, they've expanded and they've added a lot of stuff. And they even have personal stuff down there. There's a boat from one of their employees
No, that needs to go.
that they use.
I just assumed that was a boat confiscated by the police department or something.
No! So,
This is down at
It's down the lower dump.
yeah.
yeah,
So-
by the solar array.
Yeah.
My understanding is, and I've talked to both Jeff and Mark because I didn't.
Whether there was a verbal agreement
It
or
went
not,
from this spot down there.
I have no knowledge of that. My knowledge is I don't remember talking about that at all.
And they should have got it in writing.
They should have gotten it in writing. We don't even know what they're doing upstairs, let alone
Well,
down there. So
This space isn't even, they're not paying to use the space. One of the concerns Mark, when I talked to Mark about it today, I asked Mark, I'm like, did you know about this? He's like, I was told it was a verbal agreement and that they moved from over here down there. But they
Over where?
Because they were
public
by the
safety,
PD.
they used to be by the PD in that
Oh, yeah,
area
yeah,
while
yeah.
they were working in Bristol. But
Oh, right.
they're working in Bristol, but a lot of their stuff isn't for just Bristol over there
I was
now.
gonna say they're working on Bristol, it's, because now they're expanding into Bridgewater and everything too.
Are they doing
Well,
the surrounding towns?
Hebron, Bridgewater, and Canaan.
Someone's car's beeping.
What?
I don't think it,
It's better not.
No, I don't think so. It's that way.
Is it?
Okay, all right.
yeah, anyways,
Okay.
okay.
So I've reached out to them to talk to them about restarting meetings, because we haven't been able to meet at all. And-
I would say they have a couple weeks to get that stuff out of there.
And then, so we almost had an incident with the mower where we almost cut their fiber with the mower when we're not sure if it would have, how much it would have damaged the mower. I did not know, they've dropped just lines in the bushes in some places, the headers around the ground.
Is this with the holder?
I know it was the regular, well, a regular mower, it might have been the holder. There was a concern it would have, I'll show you, I don't have the pictures on my,
They have done that all through town.
it's
They
everywhere.
just lays in the grass, and what part of that is, yes, it would be nice if we don't run it over, but if we can't see it and they've left it there,
Why couldn't they just hang it like?
Attach it, right. 'Cause, yeah.
Yes.
They did it right at the corner of Mayu and North Main for,
yeah, they did.
This is one of the ones we almost hit.
Yeah,
Though,
where is this? Or where
I'd
was it?
have to ask, but this is the only thing that saved it from getting hit was, they saw it out real quick out of the.
Yeah.
But there's stuff like this all over town,
yes,
Yeah.
on people's lawns.
yep.
Yeah, that is not right.
It looks untidy and unprofessional to me.
And they should take care of that, they
Yeah.
should start addressing it before it gets damaged.
Yeah. Did they complain about that?
Did who?
Did they complain
No.
that we almost?
No,
okay.
we were concerned because
Yeah.
we didn't know if we hit one of those header things with the mower or the whole, whichever it was, what kind of damage is that gonna do? And then if we cut their line,
Yeah, all right,
Looking up my internet.
my patience is wearing thin.
oh, that's like the beginning of the meeting.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for the
We need to go
reminder.
now.
Yes, we do. Any public comment? No, hearing none. Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rob, all those in favor? Aye, thank you, that's 4-0.
Night, Deb.